Building mirrored things in Planet Coaster 2 can be finicky, specifically when you don't have access to the mirror option. Luckily, there is a way to use it without the platforms, and I'm going to show you in this tutorial how you're doing this. For context, on rides or on platforms, you have an option to mirror items when you want to build something on your different coasters or track types. However, when you're just building with scenery, you don't have that option. As you can see here to the top, this option is missing. But when you're using the platform, this thing over here for example, and you're gonna put a item on this one, just like so, you will see that the mirror option all of a sudden is back in here. So you can move things over, and usually, if I am not too stupid to forget about this, first of all press down, you can see the item is getting mirrored if you move that over. So that is a wonderful thing to achieve some mirrored stuff. But what if you don't want to have this on the platform? Because frankly, the platform may actually be rotating and you always have to kind of disable this in order to make it work. You know, you can just go in here and say deactivate it, but you always have to hide this thing away. Mostly what I did is I just took this one, move it all the way up, and then I'm gonna hide this in the ground. But eventually this is ending up in a bit of a disaster because everything is somewhere hidden. Now there is a trick to get it out of this building. Now what you need to have for that one is a setup like this. There is a platform moving along over here. You can actually deactivate that if you want to. And then there is a scenery group, a building. You just got to use a grid piece for that on this hand side. Now we want to build our mirrored object first of all, okay? And what I want to do, I'm just going to build something very simple with you just for the sake of the showcase. The easiest way, by the way, to achieve this is by using things aligned to the world grid. Now I don't have this done quite now over here, but in case you do this, please make sure to align with the world grid option. This is if you, for example, press down, let's use just a normal wooden piece, for example, to show you. I'm just going to use this one over here. So we're going to use this piece, and you can see now at the moment we are using the relative axis, but if you go to the world axis, actually we are aligned to the world axis, which is pretty good this time around. So stick to the world axis. So you can see now we are using the world axis. The reason why I'm doing this is because then it will always align a little bit more simple later on when you've got mirrored your piece. So what I want to do is a very simple custom kind of roof piece or whatnot. So I'm just gonna make this one a bit smaller so that you see it also works with scaling. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of build something rather like this, and then like this. It's a bit pointy, let's put it this way. And then just gonna first of all bring this together in a group, you know, confirm this with C, say group scenery, and then we have this thing in a scenery group. And what I want to do is I'm just gonna rotate this around like so, put this right in this corner like this, and then I want to have it also 45 degrees in the center, just 45 degrees, there you go. And you know, just gonna bring this in here in the center, and then obviously because I don't like this to be that way, I'm just gonna move this a little bit further out. Let's see, oops, that was wrong. For the sake of this real quick, you could also use the world axis, but I'm just gonna move this a little higher up, and then I'll just use this piece over here and go back to the relative axis real quick, just for the showcase, okay? So I built one corner of the roof piece. Now the problem is you can obviously in this case you could easily just like copy it over because it is the exact same thing all over. But what happens if I do something like this? I want to have this roof over here a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change this shape a little bit up over here. So just to show you that it wouldn't match up anymore. So what I can do now, obviously, I could copy this over and say completely like this, and then on this side it just doesn't add up anymore because that one is longer, but I want to have it perfectly mirrored. So what I do right now is I'm gonna say, first of all, use all of that, and then it's important you hit Control D, which is gonna bring up this thing, and then you move that over to the platform, and now it says attach to moving platform rotational. We're gonna do this, click once, and then this is on the platform. Hit X to bring up the advanced move tool, and then you will see all of a sudden there is the mirror option. So you're gonna go in here and say mirrored. Look at that, this is pretty fun. You look at this. You can even go into rotational, and then you would get a rotation, but this is kind of messed up sometimes. So what I want to do is mirror our piece as we want to go here. So there you can see our piece is perfectly mirrored, but now don't bring it too close together because only thing we want is this mirrored piece. So move this effectively a little bit out of the frame like this. And now it's important don't mark this one, mark this one over here, because it does let you mark only one side. Look, the funny part is if I select this one, it just gets rid of this. So you gotta make sure to select only this side. Again, Control D to duplicate that and move it over to this group. And now it tells you attach to scenery group. Click once and it's in this group. And now you can do whatever you want with this piece, for example. And we're gonna bring this over to this area here. Look, this is where we need this. Bring this over and we could perfectly align this. Like, we don't need to be too precise right now. But as we use the world axis, there's no issue with the gizmo. So I'm gonna rotate this perfectly fine in here. Let's have a look that we just get this perfectly aligned. Yeah, somewhat like that. You could spend a tiny bit more time. It's almost good. And now it's like, just say split from the group, because this one lets you split it from the group. Hit I to get the multi-select, select both of them, confirm the selection, group scenery, and all of a sudden you have this thing grouped perfectly, and you can now use the rotation just like so. Bring that over, and you've got this one perfectly done. Like, if you would have covered the corners, you would have now a perfect, wonderful group, which yeah, just like works like a charm. This is all I wanted to show you. This is already the rotational trick, or the mirror trick, I should say. With this easy setup, you can do it. Also, special thanks to Duum, who has actually done this according to my explanation in the last video. For me, it didn't work in the other save file, but apparently in this save over here, the whole trick works again. It is kind of confusing, but it seems like it can be repeated a couple of times, so it does actually work. And don't mind this mess over here, that was me just doing wrong stuff. But I guess the idea is clear and the trick is clear, so I do hope you like this little tutorial and you can make use of this trick, because just as I said, mirrored pieces are a pain, but in this way you only need to build a fraction of your build. It's like 1/4 of your build is enough, because you can use the mirror option even twice. You know, if you're happy with one side, now double, you can do the same trick and apply the same again. Easy as it goes.